So I am Audrey Querns, and I'm the project manager for the Seattle K-12 Arts Learning Collaborative. Also, Carrie Campbell is here. She's from Seattle Public Schools. She's the manager of, yay, the manager of visual and performing arts for the district, and she's also the project sponsor. She's really the reason that we're all here today. She's the one who got the $1 million grant for the city of Seattle. So the reason, and I actually also see a number of people who are on our advisory committee and who have been in different working groups regarding different subjects in arts education, who've been working with us for many, many months, and we thank you for your tireless efforts. So the reason that we are all here is because we are on, we are on a mission to make sure that all students in Seattle schools have the opportunities to learn through the arts, helping them to be successful in career, in life, in school. And I think most of you know that about a year ago, we got a $1 million grant from the Wallace Foundation. So now we have the time and the resources to spend 18 months creating an arts plan that is really going to be ambitious, that is going to ensure a K-12 arts continuum and music continuum especially, and that really represents the values of our community, and that focuses on equity, making sure that all of our students have opportunities to learn through the arts. So I am the project manager for the arts plan, and I was hired by the school district to work on this, but this is really not just a school district initiative. It's such a big job, and Seattle is such a music town. Music and the arts are so integral to who we are that this really needs to be a citywide initiative. And so we have partnered with city offices like the Office of Film and Music, the Office of Arts and Cultural Affairs, with cultural partners and community organizations like the Seattle Art Museum, Arts Corps, Arts Ed Washington, Arts Impact. There must be another arts organization that I'm missing. We've also partnered with Poncho, who is an arts funder. They're working on our funding strategy. And together, we have come together to create this Seattle K-12 Arts Learning Collaborative. So I thought that since this is kind of a music crowd, we'd spend a little bit of time talking about a brief history of music education at Seattle Public Schools. And I found this picture on the PI website in their archives. It's from 1948, and it's the Garfield Military Band. And somewhere in there is Quincy Jones. I don't know where, but he's there. So there was a time in Seattle when every single elementary school had a band and an orchestra and a general music program. And the middle schools and high schools all had bands and orchestras and choirs. There were citywide ensembles, like the All-City Band, which we still have today. There was an all-city orchestra. But then in the 1970s, the late 70s, there was a double levy failure, and arts programs were decimated. They were either drastically cut back or just discontinued altogether. And since then, it's really been all about rebuilding these programs. So we have had some success building out our secondary music programs, secondary instrumental programs. I'm sure a lot of you know about the nationally recognized jazz programs that we have at many of our high schools. And in the last 5 years, in part through a partnership between SPS and the Office of Arts and Cultural Affairs, they've provided seed money, and then the school board has also spent a lot of money on really concentrating on building out secondary music programs, so that right now, or this coming year, all of our K-8 schools will have instrumental music programs, and all of our high schools will also have, the schools in the Northwest region will have choirs, and there will be a continuum, so students will be able to have choir in elementary, middle, and high school. sorry, reading here. But, so we've had some successes, which is great, and Carrie has done an amazing job in the last 5 years since she's been at SPS creating this. But still not all of our students have access to these amazing programs, and especially at the elementary level. So we've actually spent the last few months gathering data from all of our schools to find out who is getting arts access and how much arts is being taught out there. And what we have found is that 73% of our K-3 students, so our youngest students, are getting 30 minutes or less of music education per week, per year at Seattle Public Schools. And as part of that, 6,145 students, K-5, are not getting any music education at all in school during the school day. We have also found that there is a correlation between race and arts instruction, and race and music instruction especially. So schools where there are high percentages of Black and Hispanic kids offer less music instruction. And we were actually hoping that that wouldn't be the case in Seattle. We thought that there were other factors, but it really follows national trends, that there is this correlation between race and low arts access. Oh, and I should mention that a shockingly high number of schools offer no music at all beyond the elementary instrumental program that is offered to all 4th and 5th graders in the district. So this low access for our youngest students is alarming for many reasons. The research that connects brain development to music is clear. I'm sure a lot of people in the room are already familiar with it, but I'm going to pick this up so I don't get it wrong. Students who participate in music instruction have better phonological awareness for early reading. They also have better spatial temporal reasoning skills for better math learning. Music and other arts are connected with the development of habits of mind, such as problem solving, critical thinking skills, creative thinking, dealing with ambiguity and complexity, like I'm sure everybody in this room has to do every day, integrating multiple skill sets and working with others. Exactly the kinds of skills that people in a creative economy like Seattle's need. Students who participate in the arts are more motivated and engaged in school. This can be seen in improved attendance, in persistence and focus on their tasks, heightened educational aspirations, and risk-taking. And they are more likely to go to college, studies have shown, and also exhibit pro-social behaviors such as voting and volunteerism. And our own research at Seattle Public Schools really bears these ideas out. We, through the same research that I was referring to earlier, we also found that there was an inverse correlation between discipline rates and the number of instructional minutes that kids got. So at the schools with the lowest instructional minutes, they had the highest disciplinary rates, much higher than the overall district average. And the schools with the very highest instructional minutes of music had the lowest discipline rates. And of course, this is a correlation. We can't yet claim causation between music and discipline, but it's definitely worth further research. Our own research also shows that the elementary school that a kid goes to has significant impact on whether they take music courses when they're in middle school and high school. So this means that by not offering music at some of our elementary schools, we're actually causing these kids to be shut out or to maybe just choose not to take music classes once they get into middle and high school. So they're missing out on these amazing programs that we have. For middle and high school, I've kind of forgotten what pictures I put on here. For middle and high school, once again, race is a predictor of who chooses to enroll in music classes. And white students are more likely to take multiple music classes during their middle and high school years than Black and Hispanic students. Students who are bilingual or qualify for free and reduced lunch are also less likely to take multiple music classes. And in addition to our data collection, we also held student focus groups. And we found, or what we learned from them, is that making time in their schedule for the arts can be a barrier to taking arts classes and music classes. And also that although they might be interested in music and the arts, some of them don't feel that the courses that are offered at their high schools are that relevant to them, either culturally or just as young people today. So these are issues that we need to address. So these barriers in music learning matter because, as you all know, music is really a vital part of our culture in Seattle and in our economy. But for our kids, there's this music education access gap. And it can be predicted based on race at the elementary level, and then on race, free and reduced lunch status, and bilingual status at the secondary level. So this means that those kids who actually need the most support in getting into college and getting jobs are missing out on the benefits of music education and art education. And we know that in Seattle, especially, music provides a pathway to career. In 2008, there were 20,000 jobs in the music industry in the region. And music jobs can also be found in the city's film and interactive industries. My son was very excited that I used a halo image here. But then also indirectly, there are hundreds of thousands of jobs in Seattle that require the skills that are inculcated by music education, such as creativity, collaboration, and innovation. So we really have a responsibility to aggressively address our music learning access gap, not because music is a nice to have, music education is a nice to have, but because it really is a necessity for our children. And this is a key moment, and it's a historical moment in Seattle Public Schools. And this is why. 2 years ago, we switched over to a neighborhood student assignment plan. Before that, we had a choice enrollment system, so those of you who are parents might know you got to choose what school your child went to. So it meant if your child was very interested in music, you could shop around. You could go to a music-rich elementary school and choose a different middle school and a music-rich high school. But now, families don't have those choices, and so we really do need to make sure that every single school has access, that students have access to really high quality music education. So we've set some goals for ourselves in this arts plan so that we can really recommit to arts education in Seattle and return to a system where every child has a continuum of K-12 arts learning opportunities. So we're proposing that every student gets 60 minutes of arts learning every week from an arts specialist, for all of the school year. We're proposing that every middle school has at least one band, an orchestra, a choir, and that in high school, in addition to those, they also have advanced music courses and music courses that connect technology to music and then music to career. In addition, we'll be changing the way music is taught in the arts classroom or in the music classroom. All of the curricula is being updated to really authentically incorporate 21st century skills. These are skills that help people with things like growth mindset, which is the knowledge that you can improve your intelligence and your ability to do things through practice and through perseverance. Also creative thinking, communications, and collaboration. And we're doing this because not every music student is going to become a professional musician, but we definitely know that every music student, or every student, can benefit from these skills. And some of the other strategies that we're going to be using are, we'll be adding new music staff, we'll be creating a new staffing model, we'll be adding in support so that every principal can develop their own arts vision and their own arts plan for their school. We'll be creating more supports, we'll be creating supports for more partnerships and higher quality partnerships with cultural and community arts organizations. And we'll expand the use of arts integration in schools, taking the arts out of isolation and connecting it to other content areas. And we'll respond to the desires of our students that we heard from back in the spring to have more citywide showcases of student work and performances. So finally, what's next? Right now, what we really need are advocates. That's where you guys come in. We need to build support at all levels to make this initiative too big to fail. 3 other cities have gone through this planning process with funding from the Wallace Foundation. 2 of the 3, Dallas and Boston, received millions of dollars for implementing their plans. One of them, Los Angeles, did not, but the good news is that Los Angeles is actually going forward with parts of their arts plan using local funding. That's why a local funding strategy is very important to us. So we've got great partners in this work, like Poncho helping us with our funding strategy, and including the Office of Film and Music. But district leaders, school leaders, the mayor, the city council, and business leaders need to know that access to arts learning matters to those of you guys in the industries who want to be able to hire students or hire people who are creative, who are innovative, and who can communicate and collaborate. So our planning phase ends on January 31st, 2013. That's when we'll be submitting our plan to the Wallace Foundation with a request for implementation funds. And as I mentioned, we're also developing a local funding strategy. And before that, I hope that you can join us at the public meeting that James mentioned earlier on the evening of September 27th. There we'll be sharing out what we learned in the March community meetings that maybe some of you attended. And we'll also be talking about how the feedback from those meetings informed our strategies and getting more into the nitty-gritty about what our strategies actually are. You can also find the research reports from those meetings and the data that I referred to earlier on the SPS website. There's an arts project page, and there's a not very sexy URL there. So I guess I just want to say this is really an initiative of civic pride and of who we are as a city. We've been singled out by the Wallace Foundation because we are an arts town. We are a music town, especially for grown-ups. But it is not the case for all of our students. And so this is really a chance for all of us to get to the heart of who we want our kids to grow up to be as individuals and as a community. And I really hope that you will come join us in ensuring that all students get the opportunity to learn through the arts in Seattle. So thank you.